This is my first year coming out to the Dirty Kanza. The race has been around for over a decade. I've always wanted to make it out here. If I was going to try and sum up and describe what this race is, I'd say it's more than just you racing the competition. It's you battling the elements.
This race is gnarly. There's hills, there's heat. There's nowhere to hide from the heat at all.
Not a lot of trees. Everything's wide open, exposed.
It's on gravel roads, just about 100% gravel.
Razor sharp rocks. Nothing's going easy, and it never feels like you're catching a break the whole day. Just a battle in every aspect of it.
This race is intense. Well, I wouldn't say intense. It's just f***ing hard.
Let's see if we can figure out how to do this. Woohoo! A little Dirty Kanza prep here. People probably wonder what kind of stuff you get into to train for a big race like this. So for me, I wind up doing a lot of racing. Croatan Buck 50, that was a 150-mile gravel race. Southern Cross is another 70-mile gravel race. But anyways, a lot shorter than 200. When you start racing a whole lot, it gets really tough to stack on a lot of training onto that because you still need to really focus on recovery. It's gonna be hard to get in the exact time to train for 200 miles other than just getting out on the gravel bike and doing rides on that. That's going to be one of the best ways to get out and do it. Preparing for this race, you want to try and acclimate yourself as much as possible to what you're going to be racing in. I trained back home in Georgia. I spent a lot of time on the Steel Renegade. That was crucial. Got a lot of my training on gravel, riding in the heat. Getting a lot of climbing up in the mountains kind of forces you to suffer. Bike rides really, really well, and it's so forgiving. So for logging in big miles on it and not getting fatigued, you know, it was just a great training tool. Having the right equipment, training properly makes a huge difference. And I think that was the best preparation I could do to get ready for this race. Right now I'm actually heading out for a ride. Probably wondering, what kind of stuff do you think of to get ready for Dirty Kanza? I actually don't like to think about it. 200 miles on a gravel bike is going to be a real test to see what I'm capable of. You never really know what you're getting into. You can look over maps and course profiles and kind of get an idea, but I have found, for me, the secret weapon is PBJs, because those little rascals got me through the Buck 50 and chamois butter. Might bring some sample packets of chamois butter and tubes. I've heard lots of tubes. Packing up today. Maiden voyage just before we strike out for DK 200 here. So pulling some things apart. I'm gonna be racing something new, and when we get there, we're gonna be building it up. So right now I'm cannibalizing a couple bikes. Come up with one really awesome bike when I get there. It's always part of the adventure, so we'll see. We shall see. I worked very closely with TC at Jameis. He's the product manager for the roadside. To have him out here supporting me with the different feed zones, it's incredible. Not a lot of companies are gonna put their product manager out there and have him manning the battle station.
I wanted to come out to kind of be in it with Thomas. We're doing the trace rig for him, we're doing the feed zones, and I'm watching what he's going through. Just being immersed in this environment and seeing and hearing from him gives me the best product feedback in the moment.
He can see what these bikes are subjected to and to be able to tweak it based off real world conditions. I mean, it just makes for a better product that's tested in the battlefield. You know, to hop out on a bike for 200 miles, I think comfort's paramount. When it came to be go time, the Carbon Renegade was definitely the bike to choose because it's so light and fast. It's amazing to think that this race had grown from 13 racers in 2006 to just under 3,000 racers. You get on the starting line and you look back and it's just a sea of people. Gun goes off and we start trucking out of town by a police escort. Hit the first little gravel road. And then you start to get into some big chunky gravel, and a lot of the stone, it's flint rock, so it's just super razor sharp, and it's not even something you can really avoid. It just wreaks havoc on everybody's tires. 30 miles into the race, you're stuck with a couple hundred riders all around you. I couldn't see anything because we were so tight together. Wound up getting a massive sidewall cut. This is just cruising on a plain road. Next thing you know, you just hear this like
Still didn't see him. Shit, I'm worried about him a little bit.
Had to hop off, put multiple boots in it. I kept thinking the sidewall was gonna keep splitting or split all the way across the casing, but the thing was just super durable and worked well. And then you're trying to chase back and you can kind of get back into a rhythm. Mile 65 in, I got to the first aid station.
What can I do for you?
And swapped out bottles, got a Camelback.
How's it going, Thomas? This is how good.
Oh, oh, geez.
I got some patches.
Oh my God.
All right, thank you.
Okay, buddy. Good job.
Was able to keep on trucking. That was the nice thing racing early in the morning is the sun hadn't come up, but once the sun got up high, then you could really feel the wind start to pick it up, and that sun was just baking on you. You're just dying from heat. The course, it's very similar, so throughout the whole day, you race for a few miles, you make a left or you make a right, and then you go again and you race for a few miles, and it's just turn after turn on like a grid course.
That'd be awesome.
Around 120, we got to a neutral feed. A lot of people I heard at the different aid zones, they were like, you know, I've had 3 flats already and I'm done with this, I'm throwing the towel in. I knew I didn't want that to be me. I didn't want my first DK race to be a DNF. I needed to see this thing through the end, and as the miles ticked away, it just got more and more easy because you kept thinking to yourself, man, I've gone 120 miles, 80 more to go. Shortly thereafter, I flatted again on something. That was the last tube I had, so I had to nurse it in and play it as cautiously as I could. And then you hit these creek crossings where you could pick up debris going through there.
I had to get some more tubes from TC. I've been burning through them today.
And then you're battling these little punchy climbs, and you're trying to pick the best line and not flat through there. Then you start rolling. Next 8 at mile 150. And man, that was just awesome. Got water, got some Coke, restocked supplies.
Yeah, Ziploc bag, and it's got 1 tube and 2 CO2s.
Just trying to stay cool, trying to take in as much fluids as possible.
All right, buddy. Thanks. Yep, have a good one.
From mile 150 on, I actually felt best and was able to catch some of the riders that leapfrogged me in that aid zone. I started to feel good and I could get back into a rhythm. The Carbon Renegade was phenomenal, you know, it helped really absorb a lot of that vibration and save my lower back. Even with the heat and the terrain, the rough roads, the fatigue was non-existent. Absolutely amazingly comfortable bike. Felt really strong at the end, felt great to pull it off and finish it. Today was long, exceptionally long. I was plagued with 3 flats in the front and several rear punctures. The heat was just brutal as well. 200 miles of zero shade getting cooked. I'll probably wind up with like sun poisoning tomorrow. Even though I put sunscreen on, it just got washed off immediately. I think a lot of people wonder, is this race fun? Or they ask, why did you do it? I don't think it's about fun. I think it's about the experience. You know, the leaders are probably finishing this thing in 10 hours, and you're gonna have people coming in at 3 a.m. It's about self-accomplishment and proving to yourself what you can do and what you're capable of. I wound up coming in just under 12 and a half hours. That put me for the top 50. I was hoping to pull off an 11-hour time, and I think that was completely reasonable. A lot of people I've talked to in the past, they've been out, they may not have finished the race, but they come back, they have to do it and they have to finish it. So just to come out for the first time, finish it, do pretty well, I'm happy with it. It was a great experience. It turned out to be a fantastic event. All right. Oh, look out now. So, another exciting story in the gravel world. Have a good one.